Hello everybody, it's Serge Bogosian, the Hockey Guru. Happy Canada Day. It's July 1st, Canada Day. However, it's also NHL Free Agency Day, and we got money. Show me the money. A lot of players got rich today, and we're going to start off with, why are we wearing the Leafs attire? The biggest free agent out there, and possibly the biggest free agent of all time based on his skill level and based on his age. He's only 27 years old. John Tavares became an unrestricted free agent last night after not agreeing to a deal with the New York Islanders, a team that he's been drafted by and has played for 9 years. And what happened? He signed. John Tavares signed a 7-year, $77 million contract with the Toronto Maple Leafs. That's why we're excited. It's the greatest day for Leafs Nation. It's the greatest day to be a Leaf fan. And I know a lot of fans, a lot of fans of other teams don't like us. However, personally, it's been 38 years for me as a Leaf fan, and there were a few bright shines. A couple of years ago, we got Austin Matthews. That was an exciting day when we won the draft lottery. But today, nothing beats today. We don't recall any other free agent that has created this much buzz. He's a great player, one of the top centers in the league, and it makes the Toronto Maple Leafs an instant Stanley Cup contender. No one is going to challenge the Leafs down the middle. The toughest position in hockey to play, the center ice position. Austin Matthews, John Tavares, Nazem Kadri. Complements of great wingers as well. Nylander, Marner, Marlowe. A lot of younger guys. Hyman, Johansson. Pretty decent goalie in Anderson. And a growing defensive core. We like to add a couple of more defensemen. I was joking around with some of my friends today. I texted them the Leafs got Subban. Some of them got really excited. Unfortunately, it was not PK. It was his younger brother Jordan Subban, who was playing in the Canuck organization, and we got him. Another Toronto boy. Maybe we develop him and we make him a great defenseman like his brother. Anyways, John Tavares is a Toronto Maple Leaf, 7 years, $77 million, second highest player in the league now, $11 million average over 7 years. There were reports that other teams offered him more money, especially there was a report where the Sharks offered him $13 million a year. However, at the end of the day, I believe it was just between the Islanders and the Leafs, the team that he's only played for, and then his hometown. Great tweet went out today. There was a picture of him in his bed as a little kid with all Maple Leafs gear in his room, and he basically said, you don't get a chance to play for your, basically, his childhood dream has been realized. So, very happy as a Leaf fan today. John Tavares, rich man, and he's going to hopefully take the Leafs and Leafs Nation to the Stanley Cup. Now, not a lot of huge names out there after Tavares as opposed to other years, but there were still some decent signings. James Van Riemsdyk of the Leafs went back to the Flyers, the team that drafted him. 5 years, $35 million, $7 million a year contract. JVR is a great player. The Leafs just could not fit him into their plans right now with all the money they have to spend on their core. I believe he's a one-dimensional player. He scores a lot of goals in front of the net. He's a great power play guy, but defensively he's terrible. He's a big guy, but he doesn't really play a big game. However, he'll be a great addition to the Flyers. The Flyers are doing the right things. Paul Stastny. The Winnipeg Jets the other day made a big trade. Well, big trade meaning they cleared out salary, dumped some salary on the Montreal Canadiens. Everyone thought that they're going to make a run at Paul Stastny. Paul Stastny said, however, no, I am going to Vegas. And the Golden Knights signed Paul Stastny for a 3-year, $6.5 million per year contract. Will be a great addition to that team. He'll be one of the leaders. James Neal still hasn't signed, and I don't know if James Neal is going to sign with the Knights, so Paul Stastny will be one of their leaders. The St. Louis Blues, a couple of big signings. They signed Tyler Bozak, again, of the Leafs. 3 years, $5 million per Bozak, and David Perron of the Knights also goes to the Blues. 4 years, $4 million a year. Now, Tyler Bozak, ironically, this is how good the Leafs have gotten quickly. Tyler Bozak was the number 1 center on the Toronto Maple Leafs about 3 years ago. And when we had Phil Kessel, when we were finishing last, he was the number 1 center. Now, today, Tyler Bozak will be the 4th-line center on the Leafs. Not because Tyler Bozak is not a good serviceable center. He's just not good enough to make the top 3 lines. So he'll be doing okay in St. Louis. He'll probably be on the second line. Good couple of moves by the Blues, who have a very good team. Tarasenko, Steen, very impressed with that team. I think they can challenge for a cup. They will do well. The Rangers, the rebuilding Rangers, are doing what the Islanders, their crosstown rivals, are not doing. They're building their team properly. They drafted pretty well, I think. They took a couple of risks, but they made a couple of good draft picks. They signed back Vladislav Namestnikov, who they traded away. 2-year, $4 million per year contract. I think they did really well. Let's talk about the New York Islanders. So, Lou Lamoriello left the Toronto Maple Leafs just a little bit after the season was over to go to the Islanders. Now, we believed, and a lot of people in hockey believe, that Lou Lamoriello, best years are behind him. A lot of his things are archaic. He does not follow a lot of things that the younger general managers follow. Ironically, one of the oldest general managers, 76 years old, left the Toronto Maple Leafs, who have a 32-year-old Kyle Dubas as their general manager. Totally different guys. One is a old school guy. One is a newer guy. He's more into hockey analytics, numbers guy. And it looks like the young one got it, because in the Battle of Tavares, Dubas was the winner. What did Lamoriello do? Lamoriello needed a goalie. Thomas Greiss is their number one goalie right now. I don't think he's that good. He needed 15 goalies were signed today. Yeah, they weren't top-end goalies, but Jonathan Bernier was signed. 3 years, $3 million per year, goes to the Wings. Cam Ward, veteran goalie, 1 year, $3 million, goes to the Hawks. Carter Hutton, I believe the best goalie out there. The Sabres did a great job today to lock this guy up for 3 years at only $2.75 million. That's who the Islanders needed, not Leo Komarov. Leo Komarov of the Toronto Maple Leafs last year, a great third line, fourth line mucker, great guy, great character. He got licked by Marchand in the playoffs, if you remember. But 4 years at $3 million a year. Lou, I think you're not making the right decision. If I'm Barry Trotz, maybe I want to get out of this. Barry Trotz came from a Stanley Cup contender to he thought was going to be a decent team. Lou probably sold him a bowl of goods that say we're going to compete right away. And, he had Tavares and he's got Barzal and he's got a good team to build around. But all of a sudden that crumbled. And you have to, at some point, blame somebody for this. How do you let a 27-year-old point-a-game superstar, not superstar, but a top-end all-star in the NHL walk when you got nothing for him? So, Lou, you're responsible. So I don't think the Islanders are going to do well. The Islanders fans are up in arms. They're burning Tavares jerseys. I don't blame John Tavares. You earn your right to become a free agent and pick where you want to play. Blame your owners. Blame the guys that let him go. It's not just about money. If it was about money, Tavares wouldn't go to the Leafs. Tavares would have stayed with the Islanders, who could give him more money and more term. He would have gone to the San Jose Sharks, who would have gave him more money. Maybe the Bruins, but you don't have an arena. You have a mess of an ownership, for how many years? Don't blame Tavares for leaving. Blame your ownership. So there you have it. A little bit of a rant there. But yeah, I don't think the Islanders are going to do well. They have some young guys in the system, but it's going to be pretty tough. 3, 4, 5 years away from a playoff spot, in my opinion. Jack Johnson from the Columbus Blue Jackets signs a 5-year, $3.25 million per year contract with the Pittsburgh Penguins, who need some defensive help. Jack Johnson, if you recall, very tough situation. He was... his parents basically milked all his money. He got him into debt. Great personal story. If you ever get a chance, check it out. Mike Green re-signs with the Detroit Red Wings, 2 years, $5.375. Not too many defensemen out there, other than Drew Doughty, who extended for 8 years. But what else we got? Thomas Vanek goes to the Red Wings, 1-year deal. Riley Nash from the Bruins, not Rick Nash. Rick Nash is still out there. Riley Nash, 3 years, $2.75 million, goes to the Columbus Blue Jackets. So yeah, it's been. I don't know if we talked. Michael Grabner goes to the Coyotes, 3 years, $3.35 million. Now, typically on free agency day, a lot of these signings in the third or the fourth or the fifth year are going to come back to bite you, because you do have to overpay. You do have to overspend to get your guy. Now, is John Tavares in the 5th year of his contract at $11 million a year going to be expensive? I don't know. Now, in that contract, in the 7-year contract, if the Leafs win 2, maybe 3 Stanley Cups, is it worth it to overpay a guy? Obviously. So, who are the winners today? So, the winners today obviously were the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Knights made a good move. The St. Louis Blues. The day's not over yet. And there's also secondary guys in the market. Now, the sexy guys like Tavares and JVR and Stastny and all these other guys like Van Eck and Johnson and Green, those are the big names. However, you have to build your team with bottom end guys, 3rd and 4th liners, and 6th and 7th and 8th defensemen. So we will come back and analyze things again, but I'm very happy. I'm not going to lie. This is a great day as a Toronto Maple Leaf fan. I know there's a lot of Islander fans that hate us right now. I know there's a lot of Montreal fans that are jealous right now. And I know there's some San Jose Sharks fans. The media made it out that the Sharks had a chance to sign Tavares. I don't think there was ever a chance. He did need to listen to some other teams. He did meet with the Sharks. The Sharks made a great offer. We'll probably get the details from Doug Wilson soon. But yeah, it's not meant to be. John Tavares is a Toronto Maple Leaf. July 1st, Canada Day. Everything gone right today for us. So this is Serge Bogosian, the Hockey Guru. We'll be back with some more analysis as all the other signings happen. There's going to be a lot more other signings in the next couple of days. There'll be a lot of trades, and we'll be here every couple of days analyzing that. Yes, it's the summer, but it's not over. We still have restricted free agents. We have arbitration. We have a whole bunch of stuff, and yeah, we're not too far away from training camp. It's going to come sooner rather than later. I will also make some predictions once we see how the rosters are looking. But like I said, the New York Islanders are going to be bottom 3. Sorry, Lou. You picked your team and you left the team. You left this for the island. And you didn't get what you wanted. We got him. Number 91, John Tavares. Serge Bogosian, the Hockey Guru. Thank you, and we'll see you soon.